to say brief, but I'll try to get the essence of Rotary Awareness Day. And I wanted to do two things. First, I wanted to give you a very brief overview. It is a very detailed history of what Rotary is. But I was interested, and I picked up on a certain number of facts, the origins and the people behind it, way back, that I thought it was nice to share with you today. And I wanted to also go into what we do and as Rotarians, and talking about the core values of a Rotarian, and then give you a glimpse of my journey, my experience as a Rotarian. Maybe just very briefly, it's my 10th, well, going into my 11th year, but I have had 10 years experience being in Rotary, and it's what an enjoyable, amazing ride it has been thus far. And so I'll give you a kind of a glimpse of the journey that I've had. And then finally, some concluding thoughts. And for anybody who attended the training day, this is different, Ashway. Concluding thoughts, I had some additional thoughts as well, even since that day as well. I don't want to say a Rotary quick question, but one of the first things I always try to figure out is like, who are these people behind Rotary? Like, how did it start about, right? Where did it come about, right? I found this picture. I'm sure some of you might have already seen it before. So out of context and being in Rotary Awareness Day, I wanted to bring this picture up and talk very briefly about it. But these essentially, back in 23rd February 1905, these are the first members, basically, of Rotary. They've come together, Paul Harris, Gustavus Lower, and Sylvester Shale, I might be getting the right and wrong pronunciation, and Hiram Shuri. This is shot in Chicago. Something notable to say, the far right person on the right side, the far right, that's Paul Harris. This is what would become as the first Rotary Club meeting. A second club was formed in San Francisco later on in 1908. And then soon after, clubs began to pop up around in the United States. But essentially, these were the first few people that have become Rotarians in those times. It goes back all the way to 1905. And as I said earlier, Paul Harris, on the far right, he was elected as the first president of the National Association of Rotary Clubs, which is now later called the Rotary International, in 1910. And he was the only president at the time to have served 2 terms, I guess, consecutively, I guess, but it was quite a unique, situation at the time. Since then, of course, on August 1st, 1912, the Rotary Club of London became one of the first clubs chartered outside North America. I found from another source that also within that year, between 1911 and 1912, another club was created in Canada. I'm not sure who came before when, but it's in the same year, essentially. Rotary went international, essentially, right? They went beyond the US. In 1915, the first Latin America club was created in Havana, Cuba. A place I really look forward to going at one point. I didn't know that they have a Rotary Club over there. So that's your first club that was created. And then finally, Asia's first club was in the Philippines, in Manila, Philippines, in 1919. Something quite interesting that has happened in Asia. So maybe one day we might take the trek and go to these historic clubs at some point. It's quite an insight, I believe. The next 2 points are relating to the Rotary Convention. If you're not familiar with it, Rotary Convention is a big event. It's a global Rotary event. It happens once a year. And this time, it happened in Edinburgh, Scotland, or the first time it happened in Edinburgh, Scotland. And it happened outside the US, and this happened in 1921. The first one in Asia, which took them a while to do, surprisingly, was in Tokyo in 1961. And something which was interesting that I picked up on was among the record-setting 23,000 members was the Emperor of Japan. The Emperor himself attended, which is quite incredible. This is back in the 60s, so it's quite an interesting time to be at Rotary. It wouldn't be a Rotary Awareness Day without mentioning some really important international of significance milestones that Rotary has gone through. I've chosen two. There might be more, but these two, in my opinion, have been quite important. Rotary's most ambitious undertaking, announced in 1985, is the Polio Plus program. It's a massive campaign to eradicate polio by the year 2005. So this happened in 1985. It's a big project. And it's quite notable that Rotary was associated to it. And then secondly, women in Rotary. So they were first admitted in 1987. They are now today considered, women are considered the fastest growing segment of Rotary membership, increasingly holding leadership positions within the organization. More than 2,000 women serve as club presidents, and women are also rapidly assuming regional leadership roles. So quite a notable situation that has occurred in that time as well. So in general, I wanted to get this, and I got this from the website of the Rotary International. I really loved the way it talked about how and what we do as Rotarians, right? You can see different definitions and everything, but this one was quite nice. So we believe as Rotarians that we have a shared responsibility to take action on our world's most persistent issues. So I say that again. We believe that we have a shared responsibility to take action on our world's most persistent issues. Our club works together to promote peace, fight disease, provide clean water, sanitation and hygiene, save mothers and children, support education, and grow local economies. Essentially, this is our strategy, this is our focus, this is our goals. And I believe every club looks at those things and builds their plans and their projects around that. And it's important to bring this back again and again and again. And I thought, sharing this today this with you. Again, I may have brought this before, but it's important to be clear so that all of us are aware of it, about us as Rotarians. What are our core values, right? What do we stand up for? If we go to anyone who's a non-Rotarian, anyone in the community, in our countries, what do we tell them as our core values? And this is essentially it. The first being the service and leadership. We use our leadership and expertise to solve social issues, and all places we have social issues. So we use our leadership and expertise to solving those issues. Fellowship. We build lifelong relationships, and I'll talk about this later on in my experience. I can't describe it, to be honest with you. The fellowship should be experienced. You'll see it in the pictures that I have. Diversity, we connect diverse perspectives. I love that. I think by far, being in a club like this, I've never seen such a diverse mix of people. And I'm so glad that I've had the experience of getting in touch with a club like Rotary. Because you can't get any more diverse than this. This is quite a diverse club to mix and mingle and get to know more about diverse viewpoints and backgrounds. And finally, integrity. We honor our commitments. This is very key. This is very crucial. We want to be trustful and with our integrity and our commitment to our projects. And so it's part of our core, part of our Rotary core values. This is my journey. This is just a few pictures of some of the journeys that I've taken up. I'll be honest with you, some of these pictures, you might have some of my pictures in your own phones, by the way. So at one point, maybe we'll share each other's pictures and insights of what we went through. So maybe very briefly about my journey. When I started back in 2011, I was overwhelmed. I remember the first day in the meeting, it was around July time, I guess, when I started. it was a very heated day. Heated, مو بالنهار, no, it was hot, no. It was heated in terms of there was a lot of discussion in the club at the time. A lot of issues were going on. I'm like, wow, people are quite heated here, you know. But hello for self, or the beauty of this was everybody had a very high level of passion and energy to do change, right? Everybody had the energy to do more. And I was just overwhelmed, honestly speaking. When I saw it, I was like, wow, okay, this is big. I became curious because I'll be honest with you, in the beginning, I had no clue what Rotary is, nothing whatsoever. And I became curious, and I found, you know, I read about it, and I got to learn more about it. And then slowly but surely, I became more participating, you know, try to be in these projects, go out there, see what's happening, get to know more about social issues and so forth. And then at some point in my 10 years, I took the leap. I took the leap in saying, let me go out there and do something. Let me, you know, pull up my sleeves and just go out there and do something, right? And it's not something, you know, it's outside my comfort zone. It's not something that I've done in the past. But I'll be honest with you, it's an important stage of my journey, let's say, in Rotary, you know, taking that leap out. And you'll know this only when you do venture out, you know, when you are out there doing whatever you need to do in those projects. That's what I said earlier about the food donation drive. Trust me, just do it. Wallah, it's the experience of fellowship and people around you working towards a cause. There's nothing like it. I can't describe it, Saraha. After that, I felt a feeling of humbleness. I felt very humble. I felt like everybody else. This is what Rotary being a Rotarian is, right? Irrespective of who you are, where you're coming from, we're all individuals working towards a cause, no matter how big or small it is. And it's something that I appreciated over time. And then after that, I felt empowered. I felt that we can work as a community. We work towards a very important cause. I felt like I even in my own self as a person, right? I had a duty in my own role, right? So I felt very much empowered. And finally, and this is something quite, I believe, if you've achieved this level, I think that's already quite an accomplishment, which is feeling filled with purpose. You will feel this once you understand how everything is connected in the end, right? How the smallest projects or the biggest projects or the smallest projects all contribute to an action that you have done as a Rotarian. You essentially get filled with purpose heavily. Yeah, no matter, even if you have purpose originally or not, or maybe a bit of purpose to understand, okay, why am I here? What am I doing in Rotary? You know, it's the more active you become, the more you go out there, the more empowered you feel. You get to feel that kind of, you know, purpose, filled with purpose, right? So just very briefly on the pictures, on the top, well, on the right side and the top, this is the greenhouse project. I loved it. It was an amazing project. We did it with children of, I believe, Down syndrome, children with Down syndrome there. So it was equally an amazing project. We worked on it, you know, quite in a dedicated manner. And I loved it. And I still remember it to this very day. And it's really a true example of, you know, what it is to be a Rotarian. And then the picture on the bottom, you probably see, this is the farmers market. If people are familiar with it, the farmers market. And in that picture, if you notice, there's a girl in the middle. That's my daughter, Noura. I brought her to the farmers market that day, and it was the first time you're bringing in family. It really makes a difference, in my opinion. And she sold a couple of fruits and vegetables that day. It was incredible. She remembers it. She was, I believe she was 7 or 8 or 6 or 7 months. I forgot. Well, it was in 2018. It was an amazing experience for both of us. And it was an amazing experience for everybody in that day. It just made me a much more enriched person of what I did and what I still do today. Concluding thoughts. Can I just mention the point of community here? The power of community is something you will never feel until you really come together. When you get to see the smiles of people, children, families, when you accomplish a project in the end and you see that impact that happens, you feel like you've accomplished the marathon that you've never thought you would finish. So the power of community is very, very effective, and it's right there. It's out. It is here. You could get it. You know, you just need to go outside your comfort zone and go out there and do good. No challenge is out of reach. Don't feel that as a Rotarian you're limited to what you are as a person or as a club. You would be surprised what you could do. I learned that from a number of Rotarians, colleagues of mine, over the years. Don't feel overwhelmed. You, even if it's a small project that will take years to do, start it. It doesn't matter. If it's an important cause, let's go ahead and let's support each other. Be humble, be compassionate. I mentioned this in the training session. I still feel that we need to have this level of emotion. We need to be humble always, be compassionate in situations across everything we do as Rotarians. And very importantly, be an inspiration to others. Welcome others. Include others to say to them, if you want to be part of this, let's work together. Let's become a Rotary of one. Let's become members. Let's come together. Let's work towards a cause. This is a very important message, in my opinion. And then, of course, finally, I here in this slide, we mentioned this as a motto in Rotary. Service above self. I'm sure everybody knows this, but it means a lot to me as well. Where myself as a person comes later. My full duty comes in service above anything else. And you truly feel valued as a member, valued as a human being, where you could deliver something, you could contribute to something. And so this motto is something that I believe in wholeheartedly, and it's something that we will always believe in going forward. And finally, from Paul Harris's quote that I appreciated, seeing recently from him when I was reading doing my research. He said, whatever Rotary may mean to us, whatever Rotary may mean to us, to the world, it will be known by the results it achieves. Results it achieves. So we are an organization built on action, essentially, right? We are here to contribute to an actionable cause, a cause that has impact in the end. And I felt that that quote really, kind of resembled or defined the very meaning of what it means to be, a Rotarian. And I thought of sharing this quote today in Rotary Awareness Day to make us all understand that, we work towards results. We work towards goals to achieving them, because those goals, once they're achieved, you get to see this picture, and a million other pictures like this. The accomplishments are just non-destructible.